Okay, people, what is wrong with my Jeep Compass? Well, quite a bit. There's going to be three parts to this and a lot of content. I'm going to cut everything down as short as I can. I spent 3 days on this, taking my time, mind you, but not 3 solid days. Roughly, probably about 3 or 4 hours a day. So anybody that's planning on getting one of these will actually see in its high mileage 212,000 miles. If you go out and buy one of these, or if you've already got one and it's got high miles and you haven't done anything to it and you're thinking, well, maybe what would it take to fix it myself? Now this is for the DIYers. If you watch these videos, you can see what potential problems can arise, what kind of struggles I had to go through to do some of this stuff, and what problems I had. And there was a few problems and definitely some struggles. When I went to take the struts apart, I get the struts out, I actually hurt my left forearm and elbow. I'll probably be feeling that for a while. Hopefully not too awful long, but it definitely hurts to straighten out my arm or to pick up anything and set it down, or like even to pick up my drink and bring it to me. If I straighten out my arm and pick it up, it hurts my elbow. So just be aware of that. Try not to hurt yourself. I'm going to post this on every single episode part for this video at the beginning, so everybody will know in case they just come across it. And there's 3 parts to this, just FYI, and every one of them is going to be around 2 hours from what I see. Right now I'm on the first episode, trying to get it shortened down as quickly as possible. I mean, to make it as short as possible. Most of them are about 3 to 3.5 hours worth of content, because, well, I don't get in any hurry. It's my stuff. And with the particular location of this, the passenger side is always in the sun from about 10 o'clock on till about 2 or 3. So I try to avoid that side. Wherever the sun's facing, if we've got the car turned around, I'll go to the shade side. Plain and simple. Perfect example of shade tree mechanic. And actually working on the passenger side in one of these episodes, I got a sunburnt knee. Yeah, go figure. But anyway, thank you for watching. There is going to be 3 parts to this, and I hope you find it incredibly informational and what kind of struggles and the things to watch out for. Have a good one. Wanted to add in, part 1 is disassembly, part 2 is assembly, and part 3 is finishing up. I also had to add transmission fluid, and those of you Dodge owners on these newer models, well, it's a trick. And I also had to charge up the AC system as well. It was borderline low, and I didn't have to put very much in it, but I got that too. So basically part 3 is mostly going to be on, I believe, some more assembly part, but not very much, and then the finish up with the transmission and AC charge, which I did not record. I did start with it on disassembly, and for the most part assembly, and I changed the filter in under the pan and added the well, I dropped the transmission pan and drained the rest of the fluid out, and also changed the screen that's in the pan off camera, if I'm not mistaken. But as far as getting to the cartridge filter, I did record, and there's other recordings out there. And I did give some info on that part too, on what I had to do to get to that. Because some transmissions they've got on the newer models, it's the same cartridge, but they've got the cooler and the cartridge separate. On the older models, it's actually the cooler along with the cartridge right in front of it. That's what I seen. It's like I seen one YouTube video that actually had well, it's the same year, but the cartridge was in a different location by itself from the cooler. And it's like the cartridge was here and the cooler was here, and there was a plate with 4 bolts that held the cartridge in place. Engineers, most likely that was just a revision of that year. So anyway, that's a little other info about 1, 2, and 3. Anyway, thank you for watching, and on with the show. Okay, I'm not sure how many parts I'm gonna have, but anyway, hello YouTube people. I think I left off on the passenger side yesterday. It's almost done. I got a tire. Oh yeah, you check my angles. Got a tire this morning early. Everything's back together. I still need to put a band on the sleeve for the inner tie rod end. The transmission fluid has been drained. The primary filter's been replaced. I still got to do the secondary. And for some reason, I have ants all over my hood. And the star of the show has arrived. Hi, Simba. Cat's doing cat things. Yep, I have 2. Female, male. Where are all these ants coming from? I just seen a YouTube video. You got to actually go in through the top. It can be done at the bottom, but I don't want to do that. So let me get set up. I got to drag all the tools out, and I got a big mess. All the tools are in the front front floorboard, driver's side, and also the back floorboard. So, catching a movie second. Okay, I've got a selection of tools. I am not going to use my external microphone this round. That echo seems to be a bit annoying to me. I don't know about everybody else, but I really wish I could turn the internal microphone off on the camera. Now, these Jeep Compasses have got a little bit of ground clearance, and plus I've still got it jacked up on jack stands in the front. So I'm only 5'5", so I'm going to have something to stand on here not too long from now, and I'm on it now. Now, from the video I seen, everything was in detail. You got to remove the battery tray. Oh, now that's fantastic. Oh, give me a battery post that just snaps. So that's why that battery post has been replaced then. Lovely. I'm gonna have to buy a battery post. Doo-dah. Doo-dah. Oh boy. Yep, that's a special trip. Those of you that have been watching, thank you. And these videos is about what is wrong with my Jeep Compass. I bought it from a dealership. I thought this would be good content. So if anybody with that goes out to take a look at a Compass and high mileage, well, you might have an idea of what's up. Well, I might as well go ahead and break that battery post and get ready to replace it because, yeah, it's already broke at the bottom. Hey, clean up. See that? Yeah. Apparently it's a factory post. I was kind of wondering why the other one looked new. And probably because it already broke. That battery's been on charge for several days. It should be just fine. At least the charger said it was good to go. 14 millimeter. Maybe not. No. Oh Lord, no. I'm way off. The sun's out around the front of the car already this morning. If it's morning. I don't know. I took a session of gather my thoughts. Getting kind of excited. This thing's almost ready to drive. But I can't drive it until I get transmission fluid in it and get that filter changed. Because until I change that filter, my problems with highway speed and overheating are not done. Where's the battery bolt mount thingamabob? Battery bolt clamp, where are you? It's not even mounted down. Oh, I'm under this hood. .4 liter engine. That's what I thought it was. Looks like the emissions is actually federal and not California. Yeah, it's not saying anything about California, so if the cat ends up being bad, which is a possibility with high mileage, I don't know what to get. That's the problem I got with my Saturn. It had no cat at all. $14, maybe. No, 15. No, that was 12. $13. Yeah, I've got the light duty impact driver out. Hopefully no bolts decide they want to snap. Now, I think I've said this already once. The filler tube is gone. I don't know where it's at. It should be there. There's all kinds of stuff that says it should be there, but it's not. So, one article said it is a possibility that it could be broken. I need to spray that. Oh, come on. That's it. Let's just make a mess out of it. Excuse me a minute. I'm going to work my way around the camera. You guys watching right now feel like you're doing something. Okay. Take the extra line off. Shorten it down a little. Let's work those threads loose. There we go. Good deal. This can was full. Yeah, not so much now. I'm gonna go grab some gloves right quick. Okay, what else is holding it? Oh. Now, what is that for? Well, that makes sense. Tie down for the breather connects to here. One, two, three, four, five. That's five. That's what the video said. It's gonna be my luck or something different going on. Definitely got to move forward and up with that one. Ah, okay, it just didn't like those bolts being in place. And the age-old question, where is my filler tube? I would absolutely hate to think I'm going to have this towed to a dealership to get it filled. Filler tube is broken. That's where it's at. Okay, so that's interesting. That's going to be a... I'm going to have to find something to plug that. Let me get in here and show you guys. Take you off the stand for a minute. the sun is really bright. It is right in behind here. It snapped off. Right in behind that radiator hose. And that's a bad spot because where am I at? Alright, right here. Push this down. And right there. It's broke off. So I'm going to have to use a long filter. A long funnel, not tunnel, but funnel, to get this thing filled. Yep, snapped off right there. The cap should come up with the rest of the filler neck somewhere in here with a cap on top of it. And that could be a good explanation for water getting in the transmission. Pollutants. I'm going to have to find a way to plug it. That or do a band-aid for it and plug the end of it. Something like a hose. And tie it up over here something or somehow. Alright. Let's put you back. No. Thought you got a good view of the where the filter is. Not exactly the same transmission on what I was looking at, because it looks like the filter is actually here. I checked on eBay for that filler tube for a replacement, and they wanted $100 for it. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Nope. Run straight down into the transmission. That would be a no-brainer. Of course it does. Looks like it's tied down by a 10mm bolt on the top side of the transmission, so it wouldn't be too bad to take out. Couple of long extensions, a 10mm socket, and pull that bolt out of there and just pull the neck out of place. So I'll have to make a run to the auto parts store, get a battery clamp, battery post, and maybe something to plug that line off, and a long funnel. I've already got the transmission fluid, it's in the house. Now I think this type only has 3 bolts. And that's actually a cooler. But if this filter stops up, it restricts the flow of the fluid, and it can't get cooled down quick enough. So, despite the cooler, they overheat. Here, 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 and this feels like here. Hopefully there's not one down at the bottom. We shall see, because that's a 10mm, I do believe. The primary filter is more or less just a strainer. But this one, however, is a full-blown cartridge filter. Oh, I can't get a word in edgewise with that. Well, I'll be back. Okay. After doing some looking around, it does have 4 bolts. They are at the bottom, only accessible from the bottom. So for anybody with this year, I know they've got different setups, I'm sure, but if you remove the battery cover and you see this and it looks like a tub back here, then that's where the filter is going to be. They've got another transmission where the cooler is off by itself and the filter is up above it with 4 bolts on a plate. That's not this setup. And you'll need a swivel to access it from the bottom to get the bolts out from the bottom. One bolt is okay without the swivel, the other is not, because you've got to dodge a few lines and go at it from an angle. If you've got a swivel, you can pretty much use any size extension, but there is no room for a wrench without a extension to get past those lines. Otherwise, you're not going to be turning the ratchet. You'll just be on the bolt. That's it. So I've got to make a trip. I broke my 3/8 swivel a while back while I was working on the Saturn. So I need a battery terminal, 3/8 inch swivel, and I think that's pretty much going to be it. While I'm there, I might grab some screw-on clamps that are big enough for the inner boot on the tie rod end, because I don't care too much for those generic clamps, and I'm pretty sure you got to have a special tool to make those work right. But anyway, I'll be back in a movie second. Okay, I got some more goodies. Boy, I tell you, one thing after another. Yep, and that's a song too. One thing leads to another. Alright, filler tube. Gimme filler tube. Please go in the filler tube. Please go in. Please be skinny enough to fit in that tiny little bitty hole. No. I think it just said, "Fuka you moron." It is not skinny enough. Well, Bonnie, there goes $6 wasted effort. That means I'm going to have to use my pump out of a gallon, because it will definitely go in there. It has literally broke off at the mount point where it goes to the, that's 3/8. Boy, how they're making these swivels these days. Of course, this is impact grade. I've already broke one. I don't want to break another one. This is impact grade because, you know, I'm using the impact a lot. So, might as well. Although I'm sure this thing's going to be a problem for me when I need to get into a tight space. $10. Made by Die Hard. That That, yeah, $10. Why are they so expensive? Okay, anyway. Enough of my rants. I'm sure you guys have heard enough. I've only got one screw left in that mess to get out of there. I've got the other two broke loose. How much fun am I going to have with this swivel? Not a lot. Okay. Down to the bottom I go. Oh, over in between two lines. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Nope. Uh-oh. I just lost about a quarter of a quart of fluid. Was not expecting that, considering I lost at least six or seven quarts on the ground. I called the dealership about this thing to see what it would cost to get this task done. And they told me $700. I was like, okay, sounds like a job I need to do myself. Thanks anyway. They gave me the part number for the fluid. Well, that fluid ended up being $100 a gallon. So I was like, whoa, Nelly. Yeah, let's look for other options. Valvoline does have a fluid that can work for the CVT transmissions. Castrol was come out with something new. It actually is meant to work for the CVT F+4. And I've seen some reviews online where it was actually used and it worked. The odd thing about it, Castrol is naming it a universal fluid. And it's actually cheaper than Valvoline. You guys bear with me, I'm learning how to use this camera. It's just one of those things. Learn. Yeah, there's no way you're getting these top bolts from the bottom. But you definitely got to get the bottom bolts from the bottom. And it looks like the rubber seal is actually going to stick to the housing instead of just don't drop that. I'll never see it again. The elbow still hurts. Now, how much of a difficult time am I going to have getting room to get this filter out of here. It looks like I might be able to pop it out of there with a pair of candle locks. Hopefully the seal comes with it so I don't have to fight with it. So they're way back in there. Of course the seal didn't come out with it. Folks, the filter in the bottom is more like a screen. That's what I was saying earlier. It does not filter out to the microns. So when you've got debris like this that is going through the fluid, because it's getting more, or you got high mileage, this filter catches it, which ends up restricting the flow to the cooler to cool down the fluid. And of course, if you've got a cooling restriction, it's the same thing as the engine. It's going to overheat. And a lot of times, that's going to be why you're out moseying down the road on the interstate. Now, my caliper, it's got the same problem. I'm fine as long as I stay in a 55 zone, do 60 and 65. It'll even float to 70. Generally, I keep the RPMs no higher than 2,500. If you're having the overheat, transmission overheat problem, you can get by on not getting your RPMs over 2,500. I've drove several hundred miles in that caliber that way. That's bad. See ya. Now I need to try and get that seal out of there. Oh, okay. If you got fingernails, you can reach in there on the bottom side and give it a tug with your nails. Or you can get a pick, if you got a pick. But if you got big hands, you might not have too easy of a time trying to get over the notch that this seal pops over. Got it. I had to grab it with my fingernail right here on this edge and pull forward to get it broke loose. And well, first I worked that edge, pull it forward, grab it here with my fingernail, pressed against it, and pulled it out. It come out of there. New filter. Seals included. Remember, your transmission filter, the one that is in with the pan, does not filter down to the microns. This one does. Okay, that didn't feel right. Where'd the seal go? Fell right out. Don't make me say it. Wait, that's ATP Automotive. That's a regular name brand. I guess I need to put some oil on that. Although I've already got some on my fingers. Starting to get some shadow over here, and I'm glad.
that sun is baking me. And I am definitely not pork to be fried. Oh, come on. Just work it around in circles, a little at a time with some firm pressure, and it'll finally feed in. Now I gotta clean that seat. Yes, it's sandpaper, 320 grit. Not that that's what you gotta use, but it does leave a smoother surface. Pull this back. This thing has gave me a knuckle busting time enough as it is. The bottom's pretty clean. Top had some aluminum corrosion. That feels pretty smooth now. Pull this O-ring out, if it's willing. No, it's not willing. So, let's leave that in there. It's not completely flat, and it was not leaking to start with, like the transmission pan gasket was. I mean, it was a minor leak, mind you, but it was leaking. Okay. Put the bolts back. Don't tighten them down all the way until you get all four. All the screws are in adjacent corners. Just corners, that's it. There's nothing in the middle. They're just 4 screws in the corners. Just a couple of chug. That's about all you need. Yeah, that's not grabbing. Nope, not grabbing. Oh boy. Still not grabbing. Okay, try without the extension. That's about all I can do. that time. Just don't forget it's aluminum. That's the biggest thing. Okay, everything's in order there. Now I gotta go to the building and get my pump, because it's not going to fit in that filter neck. Alright, I'm back. So what do you do when the OD is bigger than the ID of a funnel that you bought? Break out a knife and treat it like a piece of stick. I've almost got it thin enough. Okay, I do have a pump, but folks, this is, you know, it's one of these, you stick it down the quart and just start pumping. Not exactly ideal. I mean, I've got maybe about 6-7 quarts to pump in this thing, possibly even more. I know the dealership told me it takes, but that's probably about what I'm going to have. Because fluid literally started dumping out of this thing when the tow truck dude was moving it, and I don't have that cable, that water line tied back enough. Need more. Need more. No, I need more, not less. Well, I can't see light at the end of the tunnel, so it must be in there. But I just got one problem. I need to pour a gallon of fluid down in this thing while I'm holding the funnel. That's not going to be ideal. Something that's too long. The other line that is holding me up is the other water line that's above it. It's literally not showing any light. Ain't nothing gonna work but me holding it. That's all it's gonna work. Well, I can test for leaks with this treatment stuff. Not sponsored, remember, but I've used this stuff, CVT, not necessarily CVT, but transmission fix in like your manual matic in the Fords. And I've also used it in my Saturn. It's a manual transmission, and it did make a difference on the smoothness of the shifting. As far as the shifter goes, as soon as I put pressure on that water line, this thing just moves completely out. Yep, it's leaking. Well, that was a good test. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. Just got an idea. How far is too far? That will set all the way in that. Perfect. Okay. Well, I might have to wait 70 hours for a gallon to flow through, but oh. I need to get my pan underneath this thing. And I got a feeling I'm gonna make a mess. Knife, which I just had not too long ago. Oh, there it is. Yep, every day. Boy, the bottom of this bottle is rugged. I don't want it to be collapsed. I need that to my advantage. Okay, next. Aha! It'll be slow, but it'll work. Oh, I left the camera running. Oh, that's a horrible way to run the battery dead, and I'm on red. Okay, anybody that's looking, I mean, I've already did my research. Valvoline is listing CVTF plus 4 as NS2. NS2 is also listed for compatibility on this Castrol. And Valvoline is listing it as NS2 / CTF plus 4. So I'm going to go ahead and run with this Castrol because it is cheaper. Worst thing that can happen is I'll blow the transmission out. And if I do, I'll let you guys know. And from the looks of it, I need to go get my battery pack. So I will be back momentarily. Alright, plug this thing in and get back to being busy. Okay, it's showing charging. Okay, now hopefully I don't make a mess. Probably will. I know I'm gonna have to pour it slow. Slow and easy. Grab me a prop I can stand on that's not wobbling. There. Need room to move. Oh, this is gonna hurt. I'm sure it is. Yes, it looks like automatic transmission fluid. Oh. I guess I need to watch for the other content from the other bottle. So I read in the Chrysler articles that some people was even using the Nissan fluid because it was compatible with this transmission. Specifically the Nissan NS2. And if Castrol says it's compatible with NS2, well, that's good enough for me. What, Simba? Where you at? Oh, you at my foot. Meow. Well, that's a gallon. I need to run the car and let it cycle the fluid through. One gallon, 4 quarts. Need some keys. I think it might help to have a battery. Would you guys agree? Oh, lordy. Yeah, even that might be a problem. I don't want to put that tray back yet. I'm just going to set the battery right in here. It's still in the filler neck, so that's good. Yeah, I didn't think it would stay. Okay, that's not fan blades. Making sure the fan's not going to be a problem for where it's sitting. That ground's going to be a problem. just needs to touch securely. Okay. Car's still on jack stands, so it is definitely not going to go anywhere. And now I need to move you guys because the filler tube is practically underneath the camera. Telescoping tripod. Uneven surface, no problem. Okay. Now, maybe my camera won't fall if this thing starts. And I say if because, well, shady cables. I should probably check the fluid level. But I know it's going to take a lot because it dumped out a massive amount. Okay, Chrysler 200, 300, Crossfire, Voyager, Pacifica, Sebring, Caliber, Challenger, Jeep Compass, 2007 to 2015, 2.0 to 2.4 liter CVT, chart D. Why can't they list chart D at the top? Okay, turn the page sideways. Chart A, chart B, chart C, chart D. Looks like 35 millimeter fluid level would be acceptable with this dipstick. And that's on the cold side, and it's still within range on the hot side. So, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's going to read empty. The only objection I have is moving my contraption here to get it filled. Looks like it moved itself, so okay. Not running is going to make it high anyway. Put it in until it stops. Well, it's stopping right there. And there is nothing, and that's not going through very far. So that's a little concerning. The fluid goes up into the tube? Because it's definitely not hitting the pan. This is being very difficult. I'll bring you back. I'm going to deal with this. Okay, I got you guys back in the scene. Sorry about vetoing you out, but yeah, that was getting really annoying. You're supposed to check it in park with the engine running. That activates the front pump and starts drawing fluid in and gets it circulating. And it's pretty much the same thing as an old school automatic transmission. You gotta check those while the engine's running, because it turns the front pump, pulls the fluid up and gets it circulating. And I was getting kind of close, and in between dumping a little fluid and then having to check, and then dump a little more fluid and having to check it, and well, I spent another probably 30 minutes or so. So I saved you guys the agony in the long run. But it is full. I filled it up to, it was pretty tedious. I filled it up to between 35 and 40 after the engine had been running for at least 15 minutes. Minimum. I mean, it had already started warming up. The water hoses was all, well, they had pressure built up in it, but that's normal, you can tell. And it was getting pretty stubborn to put that bottle in on that filler neck. I'll change that one of these days, but right now, no, I'm done. And I had to top off the AC. Bought an AC can that was way too large, but I didn't know how much was going to have to go in it. And it only took, well, it was sitting on about 28 psi, and I filled it up to about between 32 and 35 psi in the green. It's running nice and cold now. It was cool when I brought it home the first day, but it wasn't cold like you would expect it to be. And getting all this mess straightened out now. When you go to put the battery tray back, if anybody does do this, when you put the battery tray back, make sure to have this lingering cabling above your battery tray. I made that mistake. I've already had the battery in once. I went to hook up the new ground end, and I'm like, well, this little cable is short. What's up? And I looked and followed it, and it was underneath the tray going up this way. I was like, yay. That's great. Haven't put the tire on yet. I probably won't keep you guys around for that. front brakes are working, so that's good. Everything's spinning like it should. Yeah, let's keep the socket forward. Let me get enough. Okay. See, it shows on the chart. I let the dipstick sit in for about 5 minutes to let it heat up, and I got a temperature reading of about 100 degrees. So their ideal is right there, about 100 degrees. This is the target mark. That's what's recommended. The lowest would be about 28 millimeter. Target mark would be about 34 millimeter, and the max at that temperature would be about 42. Well, I filled it at about 37. Alright, try and put this battery back in again. Yep, again. How much fluid did I put in it? 7 quarts. I mean, yeah, 7 quarts. Matter of fact, I don't even have a quart left. I got about half a quart or so. So about a half a quart left out of 2 gallons. It took a lot. I think that's a 10.
What's up here? I didn't do it. There's one next door. There's one next door.
Alright, now I gotta, let's see, keep these struts tight. Where's my swivel? Swivel. Swivel. Ah, swivel. Where'd the screwdriver go? I need to check the oil. Oh yeah, it's full. Not exactly leaning forward either, but it's pretty level because of the ground. Alright, breather's in, battery's all fastened back in, cables are good. Well, there's no fastener for the battery, which is really not surprising. This thing does have an exhaust leak at the exhaust manifold. If you guys are hearing exhaust noise, exhaust manifold may be cracked, and I'm going to have to deal with that on this one. It's cracked. You can clearly see exhaust has been blowing out it. Let me see if I can get you focused in on it. Yeah, all the black that's on the exhaust manifold, that's from a exhaust leak. You can hear it. It's not horrid. Now the caliper, that exhaust is dead silent until you hit the gas. Yeah, and it's all in your face up front. All the noise is up front. Okay, this is supposed to have a little breather assembly thing right here. I've only got one lock to hold it down though. Might as well go ahead and put that in place. What is that thing for? An odd looking commodity. Okay, pull too far forward, go too far back, can't, okay. Well, that's in place. Awesome. I wonder what purpose this serves. It's a weird contraption. Struts are tight. I think I'm ready to close this hood. Okay, people, cleanup time. I'll bring it back. Folks, I'm done. I would like to thank each and every one of you. I gotta fix that grill down here. I would like to thank each and every one of you that has watched this. It's been a long process. But, you know, it's a high mileage vehicle, and anybody that is thinking about buying a high mileage Jeep Compass, well, if there's something wrong with the front end, then and you watch this video, you pretty much know what to expect. And if you've got to have a mechanic do all this work, I feel for you. Because it's going to rack up some money. In parts, I've got about $600 to $700 total cost. But a mechanic, well, they're charging you their fee, which is actually buying a part for the customer and then charging a customer an additional fee for the shop, and then giving you a warranty. So you're paying extra for the parts and also extra for the warranty. Looks like I need to tweak the front end a little bit more. I've got the steering wheel straight, but they're towed in just a tad. I need to pull that wheel in some more. I might just leave it because it's going straight to shop tomorrow for front end alignment, and that's going to cost me 110 bucks. But I'm going to wrap this up. We got to go to the grocery store. I think I'll do Walmart because it's the farthest place out. I want to give the AC a chance to stretch its legs and show me what it can do, and give the transmission a chance to settle in on its new fluid and filters, or one strainer and one filter. I checked for leaks, don't have any. The transmission pans, they really don't need that much torque to them. Basically, you just hold the center of the ratchet and give it a firm tug. That's about it. 8 Newton meters. That's way down on torque. That's the recommended torque setting for it, and I think it was like 5, maybe 6 foot-pounds and 70 inch-pounds. I don't have anything that reads like that. I've got foot-pounds, and that's it. But overall, you know, we paid $1,800 for the car, and I feel like it's worth it. It runs good. So you figure $700 with the front end alignment. So we're about $2,500 in. And bought it from a dealership at that. But they was going to be sending it to an auction. I made them an offer that was more than what they would have sold it for at an auction. And we're pretty lucky to get it home, because I think I clocked in about 130 miles. I had it figured out, maybe 140. But in a nutshell, thanks for joining me. I know it's been a long process, and believe me, it's going to be a long process for me to edit these videos. I've got one in there I'm working on now, and plus today's, but this is the last one. So this is the 3rd video, and all of them have had 2 and 3 hours worth of content. Until next time, I'll be on the Saturn, working on the rear quarter panels. And since I can move this out of the way, I can actually move the Saturn when I want. And it's down to the rear quarter of the car. Headlights and everything are in, so in a pinch I can put the tail lights in and drive it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a good day. Okay, I'm in the Jeep today. From what I've seen so far, or what I've noticed, is it seems like the transmission's got a little more torque to it. The RPMs ain't climbing up as high to keep up with traffic. Normally I'll do anywhere from 75 to 78 mile an hour on the interstate. Have not had an overheat problem on the transmission side as of yet, but I've only drove 33 miles. The first time it overheated, it was like 71 miles that it happened. But to be fair, the caliber ended up overheating at about 50 miles the last time I ran down to London, Kentucky. So that's what I've noticed. Car's doing okay. It does have some leaks. It's high mileage. You're gonna have that, or you may not have that, because it's been well taken care of over the course of its lifetime. But anyway, I am gonna grab my sandwich and eat on the way. I've still got about probably 38 miles to go. I'll catch you later. Okay, hello YouTube. As you can see, I'm at home. I've got about probably 600 miles on this, and if you check the time and date stamp, it's now August 31st. Wanted to run it through the courses. Cast oil, transmission fluid, good to go. And that CVT bars leak transfix. Yeah, I'd say it's doing just fine. Not having any issues really. So it's good to go. Got no problem with it at all. Alright, thanks everybody for watching. Just wanted to add this clip in at the last part. I'll catch you later.